Playroom.
Whoops. Sorry about that. Well, in today's video, I would like to talk about the Flash. Who is Savitar? I believe, based on what I've seen from last week's episode, I'm talking about the very last clip of Caitlin Snow's character. The character Caitlin Snow's face expression on her face, who plays Killer Frost. It is actually her ex-fiance, who plays original Firestorm, whose character he plays is the original Firestorm. There's a 60% chance that that's the character that plays Savitar, because remember when in season 1, think back to season 1, the original timeline before Barry screwed up the whole space-time continuum thing. And when he separated himself, Firestorm separated himself from Dr. Stein, because in order to save Barry, Firestorm actually went into the time stream vortex thing, and that's when they separated. So, and plus his character that he plays is practically a genius. Besides, next to Barry Allen's character in The Flash. And in all honesty, that's who I think it is. There's a 60% chance that that might be Savitar, because once he went into the fake Speed Force, or a portion of the Speed Force, he inherited the smaller portion of the Speed Force, and it is enhanced by the armor that he made while he was in the Speed Force. And that's why, that's who I think, that's who the character is of Savitar. Because Ronnie Raymond, his character, knows the Flash's identity. He knows everybody on the team. He knows Cisco. He knows his ex-fiancée, who she will become, technically, or for whatever reason. I don't know how I found that out, if any, because I'm a big Flash fan, so I figured that's who Savitar is, because I didn't realize it until she said something like, what do you need, what, when Caitlin Snow said, her character said, what do you need me to do? Like, how she said it gives it away. It's a tell when people say something like that. The only way you say that, what do you need me to do? It's like a soft emotion that you only say to a one person that you truly love. And honestly, on how she said it, it gives it away. So, my hypothesis that Savitar's true identity is Ronnie Raymond. There's a 60%, there's a 40% chance it might be a couple others, but more than likely it's Ronnie Raymond, because he's the only person that actually got trapped in the Speed Force when he separated from Dr. Stein. In all honesty, and it can't be Iris's ex, because he was never trapped in the Speed Force, or they might throw a ringer in the thing and throw everybody off, but because his grandson is the Reverse Flash, so they might do something like that, but that would totally break the space-time continuum in comic books. They could only go so far in how they do things with the Flash, otherwise they would be totally breaking comic book tradition when it comes down to it. The Flash's rival is the Reverse Flash. We all know this. But Savitar is his new rival that he has to trap in the Speed Force. And they talked about him being the original speedster. The original speedster. So, that could only be people with the Speed Force. The Reverse Flash, or the original Scarlet Speedster, which has to be Hermes, but I don't know how they're gonna put him in there, or the original First Flash from World 3, the Old Man. But based on Caitlin's reaction, I don't think that's the case. I think it's Ronnie Raymond, her ex-fiance, in the show. There's no other possibility of there being anybody else playing that as it may be as that character, because how they do it, how her reaction was surprisingly, what do you want me to do? Or she said it softer, like, what do you want me to do? Like, it's like, okay, that give it away. Like, and she was like, her face, we like, what do you want me to do? And then she goes, like, she looks and then says, what do you want me to do? Like, only somebody, one of your ex-lovers, would give that kind of reaction to their love interest. That's why she would betray the whole team in The Flash. That's the only possible way that could ever happen. And that's why I say that's my theory on who Savitar really is. But I won't see that until 8 o'clock tonight. Because really, even I'm just giving out possibilities of who Savitar possibly is. And Ronnie is smart enough, his character is smart enough to technically build a Savitar-esque kind of suit. There are only a couple characters in The Flash as of right now that are technically smart enough, not fast enough, but smart enough to make a suit to enhance the speed force in their system, whether it's suit or their physical speed naturally. And honestly, Ronnie is the only candidate that I could possibly see playing Savitar as of right now. It could be surprisingly different later on, but there's a 60% chance that I give it to Ronnie. That how she said it, first of all, or secondly, or thirdly, she said, what do you need? What do you want me to do? Like, it's like, okay, like, only a person of X feelings for would that ever happen to a person. And technically, Caitlin probably thought he was lost in the Speed Force forever, and he disappeared right after that. So, who knows how many eons Ronnie Raymond's character spent in the Speed Force. And, sorry about the lighting again, but that's my theory, who Savitar is. Because of how it was said in the show. How the ending clip, she goes, what do you need me to do? I can't actually do it because I'm not I could get my voice even lower, but as of right now, this is as low as it's gonna go right now. What do you need me to do? 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 Like, it's like she said that like an emotional person would. How I heard it. But that might be totally falsified. I might be jumping to conclusions in that manner. And DC might actually throw me for a loop, and I might totally be wrong, because that's what it is. Because I'm a huge Flash fan. I've watched episodes that I've watched about a minimum of 7 times, and I've watched The Flash of Two Worlds 24 hours straight, plus another about 6 hours, and plus I had a DVR, so I could watch it endlessly after the original air date. But the reason why I say it's Ronnie Raymond is because that was Caitlin Snow's ex-lover. That was her fiance. And she goes, again, I will state the obvious. She goes, what do you need me to do? You don't say that with that kind of reaction without thinking, oh, it's probably a person that she actually loves dearly, and that's why she said it like that. And there was only 2 people in her whole entire life that she's ever cared for like that. Ronnie Raymond and that evil Flash, not the Reverse Life, but the other one, that we found out later, that's Zoom, that's what it is. Zoom. But more than likely, Savitar is Ronnie Raymond, this character, because she goes, again, I'll state the obvious. She goes, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? It's like she said it so softly, so tenderly, that it gave it away for me personally. I never wanted to say this until the actual episode of this week, because I didn't actually know why she said it like that, but figuratively, once the suit is, they showed too much of the suit coming off, that it gave it away. They showed him outside of the suit, so they didn't actually show his face or anything like that, but knowing the fact that he could actually go outside of the suit makes me believe that he created the suit and his unnatural speed force capability. Through the suit, he's able to siphon off the direct line to the speed. He's able to access a direct line to the speed force, or gaps in the speed force, to give him more speed than anybody else on the whole entire planet. And that's why I think that's who he is. It's Ronnie Raymond, Caitlin Snow's ex-fiance, and because of the vortex that was in after season 1, which was what, 22 episode 23 in season 2, episode 1. So that's who I think they made Savitar into, which is kind of odd, thinking that I was thinking the first speedster, because the original speedster is actually Hermes, the original speedster. They even reference it in the Justice League Unlimited series. They even reference that in that series, that he's the original speedster. So, knowing that there's no ancient god like Hermes in the show yet, that cannot be a possibility. And knowing that it's just a suit, which that should have never happened last week, he should have never actually took it off. That's why I'm gonna say it's Ronnie Raymond, Caitlin Snow's ex-fiance in the show. Yeah, I know. So, that's my hypothesis, because I love The Flash. I've watched every episode at least 7 times. I've figured it out. So, if you guys are not surprised that I told you guys that, I'm sorry. They made it too obvious. They should have just made him actually stay in the suit. That would have totally... I would have been like... Then I would have said to myself, I'm not surprised. But they give it away. It would have kept me guessing. Who is Savitar? Savitar is not a being of great speed force, but he's able to create pockets in the speed force. That's why he's faster than Barry whenever he likes. He's not able to be seen anywhere. He comes and goes as he's appearing or disappearing. And honestly, I think somehow that's where he is. He's actually charging up the suit when he's actually not there. Because that takes a massive amount of power, or somewhere he's getting access to the Speed Force, and it allows him to take a lot of time to create enough energy to power his own suit in the Speed Force. Yeah, me too. But who knows? I might be totally wrong. They might surprise me. But that's my speculation, because that's what it is. And I've watched so much of The Flash that who knows, they might surprise me entirely and throw me off. Hold on. Hi, man. Hello? Well, that's what I'm saying. The Flash is the Flash's ultimate villain is Ronnie Raymond. Because that's who it is. And plus, she's never fallen in love with the Reverse Flash's ancestors, so it cannot be that. Unless they do a total 180 and change the whole thing. But I don't think that's gonna happen. And it's only, a little bit over 4 hours away? I cannot wait for tonight. But my hypothesis to finish this broadcast off, it's going to be Caitlin Snow's ex-fiance. Yup. Yeah, you guys too. So, that's who I think it is. And I'll change the title after this. After I'm done. Because that's what I always do. Because it's harder for me to type, so I'll take care of this after I'm done. But I believe it's Caitlin Snow's ex-fiance. And that's the bottom line. Because I said so, or who knows. But I'm sticking with that. Wrong button.